right now, and we love Fridays around here because it means a headliner from the Funny Bone pays us a visit, and that's who this gentleman is right here, Adam Hunter, making his way into the studio. Good to see you, man.
Thanks.
We're counting on you this morning for some comedy relief around here, right?
You got to put a smile on folks' faces with all this weather, this drizzly weather that is going on.
Yeah.
Now, where you're from, where you live, I should say, you don't have rainy weather too often, do you?
No, California's rough. If it's like 30 degrees, if it's like 70, people are like, I can't go outside. But everyone's in a good mood in LA. You go up to a homeless guy, how's it going? Great, man. Just got to call back for cops. You know, and there are a lot of models in LA. Like, they're obnoxious. I went to one girl. I'm like, you're really pretty. She's like, tell me something I haven't heard. I'm like, you're really smart. But I'm actually from New York, though.
You are?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of rain in New York.
Yeah. It's just like here. It just moves over there a little later on.
Totally.
It comes here.
I was in New York at one time. It was the Gay Pride Parade and the Puerto Rican Day Parade in the exact same day. And Ricky Martin walked 127 miles.
He's got himself in shape.
He's still walking, yes.
That's perfect. So how did you get into comedy originally?
I got into comedy. I had a talk show in college.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Ended up getting sued for $20 million, but that's a whole different story.
Radio or video?
Video.
A TV show?
Yeah, I had a TV show in college. I just fell in love with it, and I've been doing it for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been all over the world doing it. Military tours. I was in China a couple weeks ago. Just love it. Love it. Yeah. I just got married and I have a baby. And
Double congratulations.
Thank you.
How about that? I want to go back to your talk show again.
Yeah.
You said you were in school when
Yes.
you had the talk show. What got you interested in getting involved in doing a show like that?
Well, it was like a show where you could just watch it on TV. It was like it was SUNY Binghamton Television, and people could just call in and like prank from your dorm room, which is what I did all the time. I would call in and be like, they'd try to have like serious conversations, and I would just derail them.
Okay.
And then I was like, you know what? I want my own show. I was on the wrestling team in college. And I quit wrestling, and I'm like, you know what? I'm hungry. I have all this energy, so I'm gonna get my own talk shows. I went down there pretending to learn the stuff, and I had the show.
You pretended to learn it.
Yeah, right. and then the first night, it was our first show, and then people started calling in and making fun of me. What I was doing to other people, they were like, "Oh, are you Corey Haim or Vanilla Ice or this or that?" So then it was all people started calling in, and it was fun. And I had my friends on the wrestling team and buddies. Some girl called in, and she was like, "Everyone's gonna talk all this about me," and they did. So then she came to like defend herself on the air, and then I was laughing. It was really funny, but people were saying the worst things possible.
Now, this is a campus station, so a university station. Was it closed circuit?
Closed circuit,
so
yeah.
it wasn't being broadcast.
No censorship.
Okay.
And then she goes and then she sues the school for $20 million, me for $20 million.
Oh, for real?
And some other kids.
That's true.
Yeah, and then it goes to the Supreme Court of Brooklyn.
No way.
And they like threw it out. But at that point, I was the most popular kid on campus. Everyone knew me. And I can't even say the name of the show because this is like censored.
That's fine.
So then I was like, I need friends quickly. So I joined a fraternity because I needed quickly. But then I hated that because all I did was like torture me and this and that. So then I actually auditioned for the Black Dance Repertoire, and because it was a girl I was trying to pick up at breakfast, and they actually made the team. I think it was like affirmative action. I was the only white kid on the team, and then I got to miss pledging so I could be on the Black Dance team. And then I actually won Most Dedicated Member.
There you go.
The Black Dance Repertoire.
All right.
1996.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there really was an interesting path to get to where you are right now. But
Yes.
when was the first time you got up on stage?
I was in New York City. I used to do comedy at laundromats, supermarkets, donut shops.
Seriously, you just go over and
Swear.
start performing? Because
Well,
I've heard that before.
No, they had like book shows.
Wherever there was a captive audience?
Yeah, basically.
Really?
Dang, I got 5 loads in the washer, 3 in the dryer. I got to.
There was a comic, Andrew Donnelly, who I was working with him, and Dimitri Martin was on the show. I remember Donnelly goes to the dryer and goes, "Let me put this on No Career." And I thought that was the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah.
File that one away.
Super funny.
Yeah. So, was there anything that you were able to take away from performing at laundromats, for example, when you first walked up on stage?
I mean, at the time, MTV followed me around. I was on True Life,
Oh, really?
a comic, and they had me at the laundromat. And I love making people laugh. It's my favorite thing to do in the world. I'm good at it. I'm good at it through failure. It's the greatest. There's no better feeling than looking down and seeing people cry, laughter, and smile, or people tell me I've had a horrible day, or I had this or that, and you've made me laugh.
Right.
Thank you. That's just. I mean, most people go to their jobs, they get like cursed at, like meter maids not meter maids, like people writing tickets.
Right.
People come like, hey, thank you. I needed that. So that's great.
Ticket officers.
You probably got a lot of content, I would imagine, at the laundromat. And
oh my goodness, yeah.
No, I don't know. I didn't realize how bad I was. That's the thing.
What do you mean how bad?
Like I was terrible, but it was like fun. I don't have
how
that.
Long would you
well,
spend in the laundromat?
You got to try out different things. I would imagine.
But how long would you spend at the laundromat? This is just fascinating.
No, but I've done horrible. I've done worse than that. Like if you look up on YouTube, comedian attacked at wedding. That's me. Like they attacked. I got performed. They hired me to be a minister at a wedding. Told me to roast everybody. Didn't tell me who, what, and then next thing I know, I'm getting attacked by the bride's brother for
for making fun of him.
Yeah, I got 500,000 views though, but
and probably have a lot more now. People are going to be jumping on looking for it right now. And what's it called again?
It's called Comedian Attacked at Wedding.
All right.
But yeah, I've done so many terrible shows.
Doesn't seem to faze you though.
No,
That could
nothing.
be your signature.
That's what makes you better, right?
Yeah.
That's the only thing that makes you better.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done. I remember being in I was in Bahrain for the military, and there was jets over my head. And every time I would tell a joke, it would drown out the sound because the jet would fly. There's been fights in the crowd. It's just a matter of. You've just been there, done that.
What type of content do you find gets the best reaction from people?
Oh, groans get a lot. Anything that's like ooh, a lot of ooh. But I don't mind the oohs. I mean, I don't want all oohs. I want laughs, but a couple thrown in there. Especially now with the whole PC culture, where it's like you can't hear the stuff, or it's anywhere but a comedy club. And you're doing it in a funny way. People say offensive things all the time, but they don't get laughs with it.
Yeah.
So that's really.
Now, with what happened with your TV show years ago, does that run through your head when you're up on stage?
No.
Or is that behind you?
That's behind me.
Okay. So I'm just curious, did it make you kind of gun shy as to
No, it wasn't my fault. I was a 4-hour show. But what happened was, after that, they canceled all the shows on Binghamton Television for months. And then they had a disclaimer saying we're not responsible for the content thing. Yeah, and that was because of my show.
You were a change agent then.
I was ahead of my time. I was way ahead of my time. But that was so much fun. At that moment, while I was laughing so much doing that show, even if I was getting made fun of or all this stuff, I was like, man, I can't believe this could actually be a real job.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. And that was sort of I had an epiphany of, man, I do this for a living. And since then, I wanted to have my own talk show since. And I have my own podcast called MMA Roasted, and I have this, I have that. But I want to be able to have fun and do what I love. And I do that. I love comedy. I coach a wrestling team for little kids.
You do really, because you realize this is a huge wrestling stage.
Oh, of course. I went to Dan Gable's wrestling camp.
Oh, did you really?
When I was 16 or 15. Yeah, I got beat up for 2 weeks straight. It was the best thing that ever happened to me, though.
Yeah, and you are sitting in the chair that yesterday the head coach from Iowa State's wrestling team, Kevin Dresser, was sitting right where you are right now. So you're sitting in a place of royalty.
But he was sitting where I am. But yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, wrestling is always. I coach now, and it's funny because we had a thing where our kid. I got mad at the ref during a match. I lost my cool, and I was like, "Ref, go back to Foot Locker." And then the opposing team's parents you need to apologize to the kids and the parents. I'm like, "All right, kids, sorry, these are your parents."
But you apologize.
I did.
That was the important thing. There was very stand-up of you to do something like that.
There was an apology. There was an apology.
All right, it's 20 minutes past 8 o'clock right now. Don't go too far. We'll be right back. Pay a couple of bills. This is CW Iowa Live. Lots of fun with him so far this morning. You mentioned your podcast really fast. Well, I want to make sure we mention it again so people can find it.
It's called MMA Roasted.
MMA Roasted.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Just want to make sure we have that now.
MMA
Mixed martial arts. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And you have some wrestling background to you too.
Yeah, I was actually ranked 3rd in my high school in wrestling. I was homeschooled.
Mom and dad pretty tough, huh?
Grandma was a beast.
Oh, man. Oh, grandma. Okay.
But no. I actually in high school I ended up winning New England's 4 years in a row.
No way.
Yeah. The prep school in New England's, and then
what weight did you wrestle?
I wrestled 103, 112, 125, and 140. Yeah.
As your muscles got bigger and bigger, right?
Yeah. I think puberty hit me. 103. It was me, Ally McBeal, and Prince. They were in my weight class back then. But Yeah. So.
Right. But you've stayed in it though, right?
I stay in it. Love coaching. Love giving back.
What's so special about wrestling? Around here, people get wrestling because it's such a huge sport here in Iowa. But to you personally, what's so special?
Well, at first I thought I loved WWF wrestling. It was WWE now, but I thought that was so.
Who were your guys back then?
Oh, I liked the Macho Man.
Randy Savage, yeah.
And those are Ultimate Warrior. Those are my favorites. So when I first went to wrestling, that's what I thought it was. I put a kid like in a Boston Crab. I brought a manager. Like the lights went out during practice.
A fog machine.
Yeah, fog machine. I had a whole thing.
Like a little entertainment.
Yeah. My manager had a megaphone. We hit him with the other guy. But then I realized that it wasn't what it was.
Not quite the same. Yeah.
But I love the sport. I love also it's one of the sports where you get in you get out what you put in. If you try really hard and you work, you can be good at it.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really good at other sports. I'm not very coordinated. I wasn't really good with the ball or anything. But just plus I had a lot of anger as a kid, so it was a good outlet. My mother left when I was 3 and kind of had a lot of issues from there. And so my mom did a lot of drugs and she was pregnant with me. I was born in 2 months. I weighed 7 grams. No, I'm kidding. But
this guy's life is amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So wrestling was a really good outlet for me.
But you said you are continuing with it too. So you said you coach. And who do you coach?
I coach the Paul Revere Middle School wrestling team in Brentwood, California. Mm-hmm. It's a charter school. It's a really, really great bunch of kids. Funny kids. The kids are pretty funny. There was this little Asian kid, and I was like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "Oh, my name is Daisuke, but my friends call me Judo." I'm like, "Oh, because you know judo?" He's like, "No, because they're racist." I was like, "It's not really a good thing." But the kids are pretty funny. They're really funny kids.
Now, does that obviously must make you feel good too, because being in the line of work that you're in and wrestling and have those two ties together, right?
Oh, 100%. No better feeling than I remember there was a kid one kid on my team. He would always cry during practice, 7 times in practice, kind of out of shape, and this was like the first real tough sport he played.
Okay.
And then finally, I remember his first match. I go to the ref. I'm like, just so you know, he's gonna start crying in 3 seconds. Just prepare you. We look over. He was crying before the match. He was already crying. So I go up to him like, "Hey man, just give it your best shot. You win, you lose, you lose. Just try." And then by the end of the year, he took 2nd place in our league tournament.
No way.
And then I started crying. And then my wife was like, "Why are you crying?" And I'm like, "Because this is." And she's like, "You didn't cry during our wedding." And then she started crying. It was a whole
Everybody was crying.
The tears were flowing.
Yeah.
Okay, but it was for a good reason though too. So again, it is an important aspect of your life. And we're gonna take a break here in a little less than a minute.
Yes.
We're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about your wife and the fact that a new dad over here too.
Baby,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
Is your podcast about wrestling?
No, what
arts?
happened was I got hired by the UFC to roast fighters. They actually,
No way.
I was so good at roasting. So then, because I wrote all these award show sketches that went viral, like a Daniel Cormier all about the cake video and for the MMA awards. So then I worked for 3 years for the UFC behind the scenes, but making these videos for them. And now I work for the PFL, which actually has a show tonight, a fight tonight on NBC Sports and Facebook Live for $1 million. Guys are competing. But yeah, so I got really big into the mixed martial arts world.
All right.
So I wrote a whole bunch of stuff.
That is really cool. Again, your podcast site again is
MMA Roasted, yeah.
MMA Roasted, folks.
Shandling show.
Okay.
Gary Shandling was brilliant. It was so funny. I used to Married with Children was the best.
Mm-hmm.
Al Bundy is still my favorite TV character of all time.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Put your hand.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
Who are some of your favorite comics that you kind of emulated?
Chris Rock, old school Chris Rock. New school Chris Rock was good too, but Chris Rock's unbelievable. And then always Chappelle is awesome.
Yeah.
Dangerfield is my all-time favorite.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Did you ever have a chance to meet him or not?
No, I never did. But he is so funny. So funny.
You said you moved from New York to California, so is one of those better than the other for
comedy-wise?
Comic-wise?
You got funny people on both coasts,
Yeah.
and you have unfunny people on both coasts. It's just
It's getting booked, or I guess you got to go all over. So
it's weird. New York, there's definitely more places to perform at.
That's what we heard. Yeah, about around
more
the corner.
laundromat.
Yeah.
There's more laundromats.
I started off.
in California.
I started off with Joe Franklin's. Me and this comic named Dave Rubin. We would get Mike and we would give out flyers every day for. In the middle of Times Square.
No.
Yeah,
really?
to get people to come and walk people to the show. I remember Melissa Rauch for The Big Bang Theory was like my walker. I'd go, I'd stop people, hey, come to a comedy show, and we would lie and be like comics from MTV, HBO, it was us, and then we would
I've never seen them
watch TV,
and then we would walk people to the show, and then people would be like, and then during the show they'd be like, that's the guy that gave me the flyer, and then they would like, but that's what we did. That's how we got people in. That's how I got good. And then I moved to LA after 10 years of comedy and was like, let's go.
Yeah, that was really obviously working the street and getting people there. But was there a payoff for doing that though? You got people in there and
no, it was brutal. I got spit on.
No, you did not.
I did. And I dropped out of college, so then it was right where Broadway was right there. So I'd see like kids that went to college with all dressed up, like, how you doing? And I'm like, great. I'm at Hamburger Harry's tonight doing comedy. It was literally called Hamburger Harry's. I mean, Gladys, thank you Gladys if you're watching this. But yeah, that was it. It was brutal. But a lot of comics did it. Jim Gaffigan did it. These big comics they started out as barkers. But then next thing I know, there was like 19 comedy clubs within a mile, and everyone's competing against each other. We're like streetwalkers, Come to our show, no, come to our show, no, come. It was brutal.
Yeah,
it was brutal.
But again, your skills increased every time that you were
That's the only way to get better is to get on stage and to work and refine and write new stuff and work on new stuff, and that's the only way to get better.
Yeah, and talk about writing.
So wherever you just got to go wherever there's a small crowd.
Wherever they'll have me.
No, you talk about writing and working on material for stuff like that, and a lot of people have the false assumption that you just work for an hour a day and then you're done, and then you mess around for the rest of the time. That's not the case, is it?
No, definitely not the case. You got to constantly be writing, and also, especially now with like social media, like it used to back in the day. Like the word is that you can just become a comic and you go from town to town and people come see you. But now a lot of it is like you can't just be a comic. You got to be a comic and you have to have a social media presence, and then you have to make funny videos, and you have to have a TV show, and you have to have a podcast, and you have to have movies and stuff. So it's comedy, but you're also, because it's really how many people are going to come to the shows. When it comes down to
that's the bottom line.
It's also a business. Comedy clubs have to stay in business.
Right.
So you have to bring people. They call them butts in seats. You got to put people's butts in seats.
Right.
So a lot of it is how are you going to draw people? That's a big element of it.
And pressure's on, and how do you? I mean, can you force that when you're writing and stuff? I'm funny today. I need to have more jokes, or how do you go? What is that process?
My process is I just write, and then hopefully the jokes come out of that. But then also there's I came up with a show called Ambush Stand Up that I put up, where it's comedy people aren't expecting it. So we told these guys that they're getting a female exotic dancer, but they get a comic instead, a flaming gay comedian. And then also you have me on a golf course. I ran out while people were hitting golf balls. I'm like, wait, and I started telling jokes. So you ambush people into hearing stand-up. So
that's an unusual concept. How's that going over?
Good. I sold the show, but then the network I sold it to collapsed, so now I have the show back. But yeah, it's a constant grind. It's a grind. But I love it.
So was it a half-hour format show? Or?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool. Now, would you in the concept of this, would you take comics that aren't known, or would you try to get some?
Because you can't even actually know. Everyone will know it
because then people recognize what's going on.
But one of them, we had a thing. We had I went around Hollywood, and I'm like, guys, we got a free tour around Hollywood. So then people all went on a tour bus, and then I did comedy for 20 minutes. And then I brought up more comics, and then they realized that we're not getting a tour. The tour bus never actually left. It was just, and then...
It just stayed there?
Yeah, so people were there for an hour, and then they were then they had realized, and then we kept bringing on more tour guides, quote unquote. So that was wow.
Now, what was the response from the crowd? Were they entertained, or were they a little perturbed?
I think they wanted to go on the tour, but I think that none of them wanted to be the first one to leave. So they just stayed there. Then I was like, guys, the weather is really bad, so we can't go. It was 80 degrees, not a cloud in the sky.
Yeah.
But then there was one I went on these speed dates. People thought they were going on dates with me, and I just ran material the whole time.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing. It's
See, that sounds like a great concept.
Yeah. Well, hopefully,
we'll see if we can get
the keep grinding.
Get some legs on that again too.
Always, yeah.
All right, and your podcast, you mentioned that earlier here because those are so popular. Does that take as much time as you thought it was going to take when you first started doing them?
No, it depends how many you want to do. If I do one a week, no, it takes me a couple hours. But then I got to book the guests, and I got to get the editor, and I got to do that kind of stuff, and then I put it on Twitter and put it on Facebook and upload it and tell people on chat rooms or whatever see it. So that's a little time consuming. you know.
Now, are you able to monetize that at all or not?
Yeah.
That's the best part about it. So.
No, that's the best part is that people say to me, hey man, I had a 6-hour drive and your podcast kept me awake and I actually loved it. That's the best part.
That's the best part?
And the best part is I get to talk to my heroes. I get to actually just call up, I'm a huge fight fan, so I get to call up a guy who's fighting tomorrow and then I've had fighters in the cage thank me.
No way.
No way. Yeah, but my friends like, thanks Adam Hunter, you wanna, so that's
I withdraw that statement then.
No, monetize, come on, monetize. Yeah. I'm not in this for the money.
Yeah.
I'm in it for the love, my friend.
For the love of everything, right?
Come on.
The love of comedy and the love of entertainment.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I love entertaining people, not entertainment, but being the guy that people go, hey man, I had the worst day ever, and you made my day so much better because of you. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Come on.
That's
give me a break.
Awesome. All right. Speaking of awesome, we also found out that something else that is awesome in this man's life. He's got married recently, had a child just a matter of weeks ago. We'll talk all about that when we come back. So don't go too far. You're watching tomorrow, Michelle.
That's right.
So we're talking about all the interesting twists and turns your life has taken, and most recently, you had a chance to get married.
I did.
First of all, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. How long did you see this person?
We dated about a couple months before I got engaged.
Yeah.
Actually found my wife on Tinder.
No, you
yeah,
really?
Which is bad because we're already married. But I actually once met a girl on Tinder who looked nothing like her profile pic. She's like, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "Find the girl in the photo." But yeah, no, I did. I met a great girl.
What's her name?
Her name is Brianna, and she's amazing. She's awesome. I was going to invite my ex to my wedding and then get married in a podium and have her stand in second place. I did not do that at all.
Oh, that would have been cruel.
Cruel.
But memorable, though.
Memorable, yeah. But my wife's great. The first time we actually hooked up, she threw away all my sheets. And I'm like, why? She's like, I'm not hooking up with you in the same place you hooked up with other girls. I'm like, well, you got to buy me a new car, too. And a dryer, a cat tree.
It's going to get expensive.
But yeah, very expensive. But she's amazing. In the beginning, we were like, I would text her, I love you. And she texts back, I love you more. And like, I love you. Now I text her, I love you. She writes back, K. New phone.
Things are shortened up a little bit, huh?
Yeah. And we had a registry. I'm like, just put things we need in the registry for the wedding. And I'm like, she put marble butter holder. I would have put
marble butter holder?
I would have put things like rent, and marijuana. I mean, things that you actually need.
A cell phone for a
like
year, cable
right.
TV, yeah.
But excited we had a baby.
Well,
just had a baby.
congratulations to
Violet, 8 weeks old. It didn't happen on purpose. I had this app that told you when she was going to get pregnant, and I didn't update it. It only had
They keep telling you when you get an update, make sure you do it.
Yeah, it only had 2.5 stars. But excited though. The baby. I'm super, happy to have this child in my life.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was there in the delivery room and watching a baby. It's like watching an elephant leave a smart car. It was nuts. And then they handed me the baby right when it was born, and I didn't know what to do. I never held a brand. And then my friend was like, actually my wife was like, take off your shirt. Skin on skin contact is better.
All right, sure.
So I did, and I took a picture and I posted it, and people were like, were you trying to breastfeed the baby too? And I'm like,
no.
Yeah.
No, misinterpretation, obviously.
No. But my wife breastfeeds, and then hands me the baby, and then it goes for me. But I feel like I'm teaching her a very valuable lesson, which is that men are going to disappoint you. So that's,
right off the bat, huh?
Right. That way yeah.
So how was life different when you got married?
Marriage, I met a great person, a person that I actually want to be with. But and it's hard because, just being on the road, being away is hard.
I was going to say, because that has to be stressful for her in the first place, for you being gone so many times.
So she was sending me pictures of her naked, which was great, and then I realized she wasn't going to hold the camera.
That's something to think about. Never thought about that. Yeah.
But
who's taking these pictures?
Right. But I love it. I love being married. It's easier, especially, just I don't have to stress. It's hard. I mean, relationships are never easy. Mm-hmm. But when you meet the right person, you make it work.
Yeah, and did you know when you met her that this was the right one?
I knew that she was gonna say yes when I proposed because she bought me the ring, and then had a cue cards. So I kind of knew. Yeah. But after you've been with enough people that aren't the one, you kind of know who is the one.
Right.
Like my ex told me to set my goals higher, so I dumped her. And then. But I don't cheat. I don't cheat because it would break my wife's heart to see me that happy. No, I'm kidding. I would never cheat. I met a great girl. Met a great person.
Now you said your wife is working too. What does your wife do?
She's actually, and that was the thing. She couldn't tell her boss that she was pregnant because she thought she would get fired.
Oh,
because
wow.
she's a nun. But no, she works for this cool company, like haircut marketing.
Okay.
Yeah, she's cool.
Right.
And then
so she understands the marketing aspect of what you have to do for a living. Then.
She does.
Yeah.
She absolutely does. And then it's funny though, because I'm like buying things. I went to go buy formula and diapers for the wife, and then the lady behind the counter was like, "Oh, is this for your baby?" I'm like, "No, we're into some kinky stuff. We take Throwback Thursday very seriously here."
Yeah, that's a common question that they ask.
Right.
Yeah.
But we decided that we're going to be good parents. So we decided we're not going to spank the baby. It's 2018. We're going to tase her. And no, I'm kidding. We're not going to.
He's kidding.
We're not really going to tase our baby. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited. I love it. I love having a daughter. Plus now she can't speak. So it's great.
Now, did it change any of your perspective when you're up on stage? Because I know being a comic and not having a wife or a child, but now, recently you've added both those to the mix.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like. Yeah, of course. Because you'd be
Do you have more filters that you go through?
No filters. No? Just I'm not looking in the crowd to be like, oh, what is she doing later? Or, oh, that girl looks pretty here. That's that. This is none of that. Like,
it changed your perspective a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of that. But I would go for girls with really bad tattoos because I knew that I wasn't gonna be the worst decision they ever made. I thought that was a good. But I didn't like dating. I went on a date with this girl one time. She's like, I don't hook up after the third date. Well, go on those dates, come back.
So you gotta take what is said, and you gotta make sure you take and put it to your advantage.
Of course.
That works.
Yes.
All right. But also something else that works is heading out to the Funny Bone, folks, because again, you are gonna have an awesome time. Funny Bone tonight, Funny Bone tomorrow night. You want to get your tickets online, DesMoines.funnybone.com for all the fun and frivolity. Great food out there too. So I'm not sure if you had a chance to sample any of the wares yet, food-wise, but very well done there too. So.
They can sample you on YouTube before the show.
Yes, YouTube, Spotify. I got a new album out called Adam Hunter Still Broke. So, yeah.
Check that out too.
Of course, yeah.
Perfect.
Check it out.
Adam Hunter, thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Congratulations.
Nice job.